Hi, let's start one small topic on virtual learning program. So it's Abhishek's for Vlp Ias. So today we are discussing about the basics of Indian history. So Indian history is classified into three categories: ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, and modern history. So we are starting the session of ancient history right now. Then we switch to the medieval and then finally modern. So let us start with ancient history overall view. So ancient history, you know what? All the ancient history is related to some kind of sources. The main sources of ancient history is classified into three categories: literary sources, archaeological sources, and account of foreign travelers and writers. So you can see literary type sources are there, archaeological related sources are there, and also travelers who are writing some travelogues or books and all. From there also you can get come to know what are the main sources of it. And related to the literary sources, you can see there are three categories. There are three categories of literary sources. That is religious category, secular category, and Sangam literature. And this religious literature again subdivided into three categories: Brahmanical, that means Brahmin based, and Vedic literature. Second one is Buddhist literature, and third one is Jain literature. And the secular type, we again classified into two categories. Secular type, you can see here, secular category, two types, that is non-literature, non-historical literature, and historical literature. So if you go in details related to these topics, then almost all the ancient history will be covered in this tree. And as you can see here, archaeological based sources, and also account of the foreign travelers. So now I am going deep, and we are going to follow this tree, and we will cover all the topics related to this tree. And there are, when we count about the account of the foreign travelers, again the foreign travelers is split into Greek authors, Chinese travelers, and Mohammedan writers, and etc. And now what we are going to discuss is the first slot of literacy sources. And literacy sources, we switch to the first box, that is religious literature. And religious literature is classified into three categories: Brahmanical, Buddhist, and Jainisms. So today we are discussing Brahmanical type. So Brahmanical type, you can see as in the tree, it's mentioned here. It has Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Sutras, Smritis, Puranas, and Mahakavyas. So let us discuss. Let us start the class from the Vedic literature. The Vedic literature are classified as Vedas, Brahmins, Aranyakas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Sutras, Smritis, Puranas, and Mahakavyas. So I am dealing with the Vedas first. In this session, we will discuss Vedas, and everyone knows that there are four types of Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. So what we are going to do is that we will go through the one by one topics clearly. So let us talk about the Rig Veda first. Rig Veda is one of the oldest form of Vedas. And you know what's the word meaning of Veda? Veda means originated from the root word Vidhi. So Veda means Vidhi. Vidhi, what is the meaning of Vidhi? Vidhi means to know. To know something, that is Veda. So Rig Veda is the oldest form of Veda, and it is the first testament of mankind. And it's believed that it is composed around 1700 BC. And you know what? The first three Vedas, it's called Tri. Three Vedas means Rig Veda, Samaveda, and Yajurveda. These three categories called as Tri category. And there are 1017 hymns. Hymns means sutras are there in Rig Veda. And these 1017 hymns or sutras are divided into 10 mandalas. So that means one mandala consists of some number of hymns or sutras. Likewise, there are 10 mandalas are there in Rig Veda. So you have to know that mandala is connected to Rig Veda. And later, Bhalkilya Sutra was added. Bhalkilya Sutra was added to the Rig Veda, and the hymns added from 1017 to now it is 1028. Okay, so these are the main basic points related to Rig Veda. So now we already know that there are 10 mandalas, and the 10th mandala of Rig Veda later added to the main Rig Veda, later added Purusha Sukta to this 10 mandala of the Rig Veda. So for Rig Veda we know that there are 10 mandalas, and in the 10th mandalam we added an extra thing later was added, that is Purusha Sukta. In this Purusha Sukta there is explaining the 4 varnas of the culture. That means 4 varnas means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are the 4 varnas was taken, was added, was a part of Purusha Sukta, and that Purusha Sukta was added to the Rig Veda in the 10th mandala. So that is the point. And the 7th mandala and the 2nd mandala, the both 7th mandala and 2nd mandala both called as Vansha mandala, and these are they believing that they are the very first compositions. 7th and 10th mandala, that is Vansha mandala, is the very first composition of Rig Veda. And the 8th mandala, it is a handwritten script and it is called as Kila. So 8th mandala, it is handwritten and the name of it is also called as Kila. And the first and the 10th mandala is also called as Shepak. So Kila, Shepak is there. Both Kila and Shepak are a part of Rig Veda. 8th mandala is Kila and first and 10th mandala is called as Shepak. And the 10th mandala we added Purusha Sukta. In Purusha Sukta, they were mentioning about the 4 varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Okay, so let's talk about the next Veda, that is Yajurveda. Yajurveda, in this Yajurveda there are 40 chapters and 2000 hymns. So it is a ritual Veda and it has mainly 2 main texts. So Yajurveda, definitely 2 main textbooks are there. So one is Krishna Yajurveda and second one is Shukla Yajurveda. So first one is Krishna Yajurveda, second one is Shukla Yajurveda. And basically this book is all about sacrificial prayers. So it's all about prayers. And the Krishna Yajurveda contains mantras and the Shukla has commentary in prose. So that means Krishna is a type of poem type and Shukla is a prose type. So that is a highlight point. So when we discuss the Yajurveda, there are five branches for Yajurveda. That is Kastak, Kabistal, Maitrayani, Taittiriya and Vajashneni. So the first 4 are called as Krishna Yajurveda and the last one, Vajashneni, is called as Shukla Yajurveda. So this is the classification. So totally we know that there are for Yajurveda there are 5 branches. Out of the 5 branches, first 4 are Krishna and the last one is Shukla Yajurveda. And Shukla is prose type commentary, Krishna is poem type. Okay, and Yajurveda is for prayers. So these are the points you have to be keep in your mind. And Yajurveda, you know what, the last chapter of the Yajurveda, there is one special thing called as Ishopanishad. So Ishopanishad is a part of the last chapter of the Yajurveda. Why this Ishopanishad is very important? Ishopanishad is the chapter where we are talking about philosophical and metaphysical matters. So the only chapter, the only portion of the Yajurveda where they are talking about philosophical and metaphysical matters is Ishopanishad is the last chapter, and all part of the Yajurveda is talking about law and legislation related to the prayers and all. Okay, so don't forget Ishopanishad. Now we can switch to the Samaveda. Samaveda, it is a collection of melodies. So it is like poems or songs sung something. Sama, definitely you heard about something like that. Sama, Somayagam like that, right? So it is Somayagam. So definitely it is a collection of melodies. 1549 slokas are there. And except this 78 or except 78, all the rest was borrowed from Rig Veda. That means Samaveda, the main part is come from Rig Veda itself. And this Samaveda, its melodies of songs or shlokas are sung at the time of Soma sacrifice. You heard about that Sri Rama was conducting Somayaga practice and like that. So during the Somayaga, we sung the main richas or slokas from Samaveda. And Samaveda again subdivided into 2 categories, that is Purvarchika and Uttararchika. Purvarchika and Uttararchika. And Purvarchika 6 subdivisions are there, and each subdivision is called as Apataka. And Uttararchika, there are 9 subdivisions, and 9 subdivisions each is called as Prapataka. Okay, so Samaveda split into two, Purvarchika and Uttararchika, and Purvarchika 6 subdivisions called as Apataka, and 9 subdivisions are for Uttararchika, that is called as Prapataka. So there are Apatakas and Prapatakas as a part of Samaveda. So don't forget, Samaveda means it's for Soma practices, Soma Yaga, that means sung by the time of Soma Yaga. So singing means melodies. Okay. So now we are talking about the last portion of it, that is Atharva Veda. So Atharva Veda, it is the latest of the four. Atharva Veda, in this type of Veda, they are describing about the popular beliefs and superstitions. So it is later, that means it is not a main part of the Vedas, 1, 2, 3. Atharva Veda is something separate, but it is now a part of main Vedas. So it's a 220 books mainly, and 731 hymns and 5987 mantras. Out of these 5987 mantras, 1200 taken from Rig Veda anyway. And this Atharva Veda is for how to overcome the evil spirit. Okay, and this Veda is also called as Brahma Veda or Atharva Giras Veda. And ultimately, this is a book of magical formula. And Atharva Veda is again classified into two types, that is Shaunk and Pipalad. So this is the main part of the only available branches of Atharva Veda is Shaunk and Pipalad. So it is a little mysterious type Veda. So the important points you have to remember when we discuss about the Soma, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajurveda and Rig Veda. In Rig Veda we have mentioning 40 rivers, and Saraswati river is called as the mother of rivers. So there are 40 rivers that are mentioning there in Rig Veda, and name of the 4 oceans found in Rig Veda are Apar, Purva, Saraswat and Shreyasvats. So these are the 4 rivers that is mentioning in Rig Veda. So Rig Veda is that much oldest books. So that definitely you have to know the important names of the 4 oceans and 40 rivers. And 6 mandalas from 2nd to 7th of the Rig Veda is also called as Gotra Vamsha mandalas or Kula Grantha. So when someone asks which Gotra Sri Rama born or which Gotra Sri Buddha born, it is all mentioning in Rig Veda. 6th mandala from 2nd to the 7th of Rig Veda is called as Gotra Vamsha mandala or Kula Grantha. So you have to also remember the important Upa Vedas connected to the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda and Yajurveda. So you can see in the box Rig Veda, in Rig Veda there is Upa Veda called as Dhanur Veda. Dhanur definitely means archery. And the second one is connected to Sama Veda is Gandharva. It is Gandharva. Sama Veda, you know that it's talking about melody. So Sama Veda, the Upa Veda is Gandharva. Gandharva means it is dealing with art of music. Atharva Veda, so you can see Ayurveda is a part of Atharva Veda and medical science. And Yajurveda, there is some special Veda, that is architecture, that's Sthapathya Veda. So the last time there is one question from this ancient India. Ayurveda is which Upa Veda? That means Ayurveda was taken from which Veda? So you have to mention the right answer. It is Atharva Veda. So don't forget the important points in this box. So try to by heart it. And in the next sessions, what we are going to discuss, it's a Vedic literature. In this Vedic literature, we are going to discuss about the Brahmanas, Upanishad and Vedangas. So let us go with the next topics. Okay, practice it. See you in the next session.